Hello, welcome to White Birch Tarot. This reading is for the full moon in Sagittarius, which occurs, today, Sunday, June 4th. I believe it was actually Saturday night, like almost midnight Eastern Daylight Time. So depending on where you're at on the planet, you might need to adjust that time. But basically, Saturday night, early Sunday. And, again, depends on where you are. So, I'm going to read one quote by the poet W.H. Auden. He spells his last name A-U-D-E-N. I should have said spelled. I believe he's passed. And he said, "The center that I cannot find is known to my unconscious mind." Okay, you can take that to the bank. So we have a full moon in Sagittarius tonight. It's at 13 degrees, so look and see where that falls in your chart, if you have your chart. And the sun and the moon are, when the moon is full, the sun and moon are always opposite each other, of course. So it's when they are, actually, even though they're opposite, it's kind of when they're the most together because they're looking at each other, which is why the moon is full, being completely illuminated by the sun. Anyway, we still have Jupiter conjunct the north nodes in Taurus. So it's a good time for trying to decide what the heck you want to do with your life. And you may be having some with this. The full moon in Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is all about like philosophy and higher thinking and, it can be luck also and playfulness, but it can also be knowing. It rules wisdom. So it's a good sign. Anyway, I drew fairy cards because I feel like that's good for the full moon, and I got 3 really interesting cards. I think this is a really interesting reading. I think it's quite deep actually, even though it's only 3 cards. So let me start. The first card I drew was the Lord of the Forest. And he is the epitome of masculine energy. He rules the masculine. It's about action and going for it and doing something and being in your yang energy. It's about doing. Okay. And then I'm going to move over to the right because I feel like these are balancing each other. And then we'll go to the center. And then the third card I drew is the Green Woman. And she represents the yin energy or the feminine energy. She's all about receiving. And yet she rules growth. So they both rule growth in a different way. The Lord of the Forest is about doing something. And the Green Woman is about receiving something, like, the sunlight makes the plants grow and they soak up the water, and it's about gentle growing. It's not about, rushing out and doing something as the Lord of the Forest is. It's about listening and being receptive, and yet from that listening comes growth. And what I find really interesting is that in the middle, I drew the Queen of Shadows. And this is really interesting because she rules our shadow side, which is the part of us that is in our subconscious. That could be negative. It could be positive. It's just whatever's in there that you have not acknowledged. So you may not know it's there, but since we have a full moon in Sagittarius, the moon rules the unconscious and it rules our emotions as well. So I'm saying that if you are open to it, and if you will listen and be receptive, you will get a download. You will get some information about yourself that's extremely important. And it could be something about yourself that you need to change, that you don't like. It could be something positive that you've been afraid to express. But whatever it is, it needs to be acknowledged at this time. And if you acknowledge it, whether it's positive or negative, and again, don't judge it, just acknowledge it, then you will make some forward movement in your life. And again, the moon rules the unconscious, and Venus is just at the end of the sign of Cancer, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. And I feel like there's a connection there, because Venus is, what we love, who we love, our relationships, including our relationship with ourselves. And when a planet gets to the end of a sign, the energy gets more intensified. So I feel like this is really telling us to look at our relationships, even if it's with yourself. I promise you that if you really stop and listen, you are going to learn something about yourself during this full moon. And again, if it's something in yourself that you think, oh my gosh, I keep doing the same thing over and over, I need to change this, change it, be active about it, but be non-judgment, be gentle with yourself. The green woman is always gentle. So don't chastise yourself and say, oh my God, I did it again, I can't believe it. Just say, just examine it and say, why am I doing this? What am I gaining from this? Or why am I afraid to change this? And investigate it. And if you acknowledge whatever that behavior or feeling is, and really sit with it and try to understand it. And again, it might be something you have to let go of. It might be something you need to express. It just depends on your situation and what's inside you. It will move you to a new level if you can listen to it and then do what it tells you. And don't forget that your emotions can come out in your body. That often happens with me. So if you're a person who grew up in an atmosphere where you weren't allowed to necessarily express your feelings or even feel them, if they felt dangerous or whatever, and you had to shove them down, they can come out in your body. So listen to your body at this time. And because if you're the kind of person who doesn't easily get in touch with your emotions, you might need to sit with your body and examine what it's telling you, because it won't lie to you at this time. It will tell you the truth, and it might be something you need to know. So, if you're having a conversation with someone or an interaction with someone, even if it's something you've done yourself or whatever, ask, really sit with it and ask yourself, what's going on here? Because I promise you, you will learn something. This full moon in Sag, yeah, you will. You will. Okay, I'm going to draw an oracle card. I feel like this is a really powerful reading tonight. Those cards just couldn't be more perfect. We have a lot to learn. Okay, I draw the never-ending story. This person looks like they're saying to themselves, oh my God, I can't believe I did it again. Is this ever going to end? And my answer would be, well, that depends upon you. If you can acknowledge what it is that's standing in your way, or this habit, this pattern of behavior, if you can acknowledge it and be compassionate toward it, then you can make the change. So the story doesn't have to end the same all the time. I'm not sure about this one. This came out, but it didn't feel right. But I'll show it to you anyway because it came out. But it says orphaned. I'm not feeling that. Let me keep my mouth shut for a moment and shuffle. Okay, what do we need to know tonight for the full moon? All kinds of cards want to come out. This was on the bottom. I might actually draw 4 tonight. A change in the wind. I feel that too. I think a change is possible. Okay, I'm going to be quiet one more time. Is there anything that we need to know about to clarify this? TikTok. It's time. It's time. It's time to look at something clearly and unflinchingly, and again, compassionately. And if you do, something's going to be shown to you about your own behavior, your own feelings, I believe. And again, you know, the moon is in Sagittarius, so it's not so much about feelings as it is about knowledge, wisdom. But you can get that wisdom sometimes through your body, but you're still going to have to mentally, you know, assess it and understand it. Okay. Do we need an animal spirit card? Okay, just for fun. Just for fun. It's the full moon. Time to play. Oh, 2 always come out. 2 always come out. Okay, we get peacock spirit. Let it shine. Yeah, let it out. If it's something inside you that you've been wanting to express but you're afraid to, let it shine. And we also get grasshopper spirit. Take a leap of faith. Sagittarius is all about having faith. It's the archer shooting the arrow into the future. It's all about taking a leap of faith. So if you have something in mind, go for it. But again, do some introspection. This is a very balanced reading, which tells you to act and receive at the same time, which is, you know, sounds counterintuitive. But again, if you examine what's going on inside you, you'll know which way to act. This is a very balanced reading, but we got to do the work. Okay. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Blessings. Good night.